Okay, so let's be real for a minute. Communication in marriage at times can be challenging. It can be
Yes.
difficult because you have two people together who may have different perspectives, different ways of seeing things, different sets of expectations, and you're trying to get on one accord and work through different situations, which sometimes can create friction and tension.
Right.
But obviously we know communication is important because it really forms the heart and the nucleus of every one of our interactions, and it impacts every aspect of our lives together.
Right. So how can you improve your communication? Well, if you are feeling conflict coming up often, you might be operating in a broken communication cycle. And that starts with just having unrealistic expectations of evaluating the situation, evaluating your spouse, and then that leads to assumptions that they're against you, assumptions that they did it just to get on your nerves, right? Those assumptions end up leading to dissension. They lead to conflict, and that cycle continues over and over and over again unless you're willing to step in and break it and really create a more healthy cycle, starting with realistic expectations. Seeing your spouse, seeing the situation for what it is, objectively, striving to, and then from there asking open-ended questions to try to lean in and learn more about maybe why they reacted as they did, why they brought up that perspective instead of going straight to assumptions, right? Once we're able to do that, we can create a healthy dialogue about how we can resolve, and that leads to, again, a resolve.
Right, exactly. And I think this can apply for any situation, whether it's the dishes weren't done and there's an issue there, or maybe you're getting ready to go for a night out, or maybe you just have a slight disagreement about something. I know that for me, it really comes down to having those realistic expectations, because I know sometimes my expectations of you become unrealistic, or I put you on a pedestal, or I compare, you know, what you're currently doing to maybe a past situation, or even I just compare you to myself and how I feel like what I'm doing, you know, and then from there, avoiding those assumptions, because we all know how the saying goes about assumptions, right? It makes us both look dumb in essence. And so I think the more we can ask each other questions, and I think that's so key in marriage, like just asking each other questions, from open-ended questions to just questions period, it allows you to gain more of an understanding of where your spouse is coming from, because again, you're two different people.
Right.
And so the process of learning about one another is ongoing, and it's something that we have to work at every day.
Exactly. So our challenge to you, if you find yourself caught up in a broken communication cycle, is to try and start building those habits of a healthy communication cycle. So if you're coming in with unrealistic expectations of what your spouse should do, what they should be, go ahead and stop. Stop right there if a situation happens and reframe things, asking open-ended questions, leaning into the conversation so that you can have a dialogue to gain deeper understanding. It is a constant process. And if you guys have any questions, definitely let us know in the comments.
And we want to know what you guys think. Do you feel like some of those items we talked about in the broken communication cycle are these things that you can relate to, or maybe you've experienced? And also, what are some tips or even some recommendations that have helped you and your spouse communicate more effectively together? We would love to know that in the comments below.
And if you're new here on Marriage Inside Out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ding the notification bell. We would love for you to join us here on this journey. You guys got this. We're right here with you guys.